single. I'm talking about eating the universe. And today, a group of scientists overseas say that world governments should start preparing an action plan just in case Earth is contacted by aliens. They claim that a branch of the UN should be given responsibility for what they call a supra-Earth affairs and come up with a detailed response for if or when the extraterrestrials arrive. Now, the call to arms is part of an extraterrestrial themed edition of the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society A, which was published today. Scientists say that they examined all aspects of the search for alien life, from astronomy, biology, to the political and religious fallout that would result from alien contact. And the report also said that evolution on alien worlds is likely to be Darwinian.
This is Danielle's Anna. I am still trying to...
Which may mean that extraterrestrials share our tendencies for violence and exploitation. So basically, when they arrive on Earth, they're probably going to be mean. I'm not kidding. One of the scientists actually said, prepare for the worst. But I think we already knew that, thanks to the movie Independence Day.
That's what I call a close encounter.
Gotta love that movie. Now, the report also says that if ETs do come from an Earth-like world, they could resemble us. They might have similar biological molecules. So hey, that could expand the dating pool, just saying. But on the chance that there are aliens out there, which I totally believe there are, I'm gonna be with the scientists on this one and say,
I have put out about 3 informative videos that the anti-ET agenda supporters such as the Allies of Humanity, the ICTARDs, the alien invasion schizophrenics, and lastly the alien abduction bullshitters don't seem to grasp or even hear these fundamental points to support my arguments. Star people / Elohim / extraterrestrials have no need to exploit the natural resources, its life and humanity of this planet because of these 3 important points. 1. They are capable of interstellar space travel fast as the speed of light and faster. The spacecraft's subcomponents can be used for the construction of a zero-point free energy generator. This technology exists on your planet and fully developed, except for the organic spacecrafts, but your governments and military-industrial complex have it under their asses, and are refusing to give it to empower the people. What would they want with fuels? 2. They are capable of creating life, that is designing, bioengineering life on this planet and other planets, and they have done, which is evident to certain unique characteristics which natural selection alone cannot prove. Not just the humanity only according to an Anunnaki ancient alien theory, but all fauna and flora, including the terraforming of Earth from a dead planet into a living planet. This technology exists on your planet, not just cloning and stem cells, full cells can be created from scratch. What would they want with living things? 3. They are capable of replicating almost any object that may exist in the universe, with a matter sequencer or matter replicator, And not only that, the most advanced are capable of creating matter from photons, from producing a rough hologram into a physical object, which is one of the stepping stones of photonic teleportation of matter, different to the Tesla electromagnetic teleporter. This technology exists on Earth and in development and part of the field of nanotechnology. So what they want on Earth? There we have it. I simply palm-face myself sick when much of the anti-extraterrestrial groups out there are throwing lies and crap, when extraterrestrial intervention is necessary for the help and survival of life and humanity on this planet, when the governments do not care about you or fixing up the mess they made for you in the first place. So much for Earth humanity. They love secrets, agendas and crap. I kept this short and to the point on these important 3 points that you have failed to hear what I say, but just focus on the fact that I am protesting, not why I am protesting. Please think, and
It has
don't
come
run
to
on my
speculation
back.
that since the observable issues around the increase and the lack of understanding and recognition of star people, extraterrestrials are relevant, however you may call them, will have no option but to be more pronounced and explicit. The reason being is the failure of disclosure by President or Prime Minister of the idiots running the planet. Things regarding the subject has not been done, such as the enemy embassy, where issues have been caught up around the stupidity of money, currency, bureaucracy, secret military state embassies, and playing out the madness and stupidity of censorship and fear of world war, that any random landing may be possible at the end of the year since nothing has been done. Love and huddles, namaste.
Moving from surplus to deficits, and it all culminated in the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression.
The president began this. So we're going to get the first question.
Our company will not be able to sustain itself without reforming its management. The operator has only filed since the accident in March of last year. Klein spoke to NHK after the first meeting of a panel of outside experts set by TEPCO to improve nuclear safety and corporate management. Klein is the head of the 5-member panel.
I think the fact that they established this committee demonstrates an awareness that they need to change. And I think they understand that at the top management, and then they need to communicate that clearly.
Put the United States in a horrendous position that might lead to future wars, and he's completely abandoned Israel and thrown her under the bus. So where I agree with Romney is, our standing in the world was not helped by being nice and being naive and being apologetic, and I'm very pro-Israel, and I believe the United States of America must always be very pro-Israel.
Good morning, my name is Carol Rosen. In 1974, after being a 6th grade school teacher, I was introduced to the late Dr. Wernher von Braun in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, "Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space." And I said, you know, teachers don't stop until June. He said, "No, you have to understand, this is February, and we have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone. Terrorists. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids." And then he would repeat to me over and over. And the last card, the last card, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
I have an urgent message to share. Please note that this message is not to create fear, but to create awareness that people can work together to help life on this planet survive. Please, I do not take credit for this video. Please download, re-upload it and share it and treat it as anonymous, as it is the message that is important and not the person that has created the message. I am doing this video because I am concerned about the survival of people and life on this planet, and that there is still time to do something, and can only be done if people get together and do something. Follow these suggestions. I have done this video due to the poor response on my previous video. Urgent message: please clear out the anti-extraterrestrial hate BS. Hopefully people would focus on the message and not me, and reject this message because I am not mainstream, or I am an extravagant intersex artist that does not conform to the norm and is not mainstream. First of all, as you know, Fukushima has a nuclear catastrophe, and it has been kept from you by government authorities and not fully covered in the media that radiation is still being spilled out of this damaged nuclear plant. The radiation is still being spewed out, and is spreading across the planet. I have estimated that within 20 years, if nothing has been done or nothing has intervened to neutralize this radiation, which all life would cease to exist on this planet. This estimate or assumption I have based on the observation of the existing spreading of radiation at this present moment, and the time of 20 years is only a rough estimate. I have been keeping watch on the fallout forecast on YouTube by someone who cares about you, and shares this information that people should know, because your governments do not care about you. Governments are too concerned by economy and money other than the people they're supposed to look after. This observation proves that governments are nothing but human farmers and countries are nothing but human farms to exploit people as livestock, to be slaves to the economy, which is the monetary system of this planet. The person who provides the fallout forecasts is Rad Chick on YouTube. I do recommend you subscribe to her channel to keep an update on the fallout forecast and observe how radiation is. From the observations, I have estimated that the entire northern hemisphere could be contaminated within the next 5 years, and the entire planet in the next 10 to 15 years, and life to cease to exist in the next 20 years. I am rather stressed out of the increase of extraterrestrial hatred that has been on the increase, including the increasing misinformation and spread of fear about star people, or Elohim on how you name them, as star people or Elohim, which means those that come from the stars, which is more respectable than the politically correct aliens. They are not aliens, or alien monsters like you see in Hollywood movies. I have also grown a concern about a specific subscriber, Daniel Storia YouTube channel, which I was subscribed to. I had decided to unsubscribe and protest against this new growing hatred and stupidity that does not help humanity as a whole, particularly under the circumstances of radiation leakage from Fukushima, which would end life in the next 30 years or 20 years depending on how people work to fix things up, which is almost irreversible as compared to humanity's chemical waste from fossil fuels and non-biosymbiotic technology used in industry. From observation, I have seen little or no improvement with the radiation spreading. There has been one observed attempt of using HAARP technology to neutralize the radiation, and nothing more. Governments around Asia, USA, Korea, and keeping the seriousness of radiation secret, watching people get sick and die, and the ecology and life of the planet ruined, mutated and destroyed, making Earth the perception of the ET intervention as being negative and illustrated as being invasive is expressed in most Hollywood alien invasion fictional films, that the extraterrestrials come here for sinister purposes of exploiting the local people of this planet and its life and resources. Their outlook and perception of advanced peoples in the universe is based on the reflection on how life exists on this prison planet called Earth. This basically is a giveaway for it being total bullshit, which is saying that extraterrestrials generally, if capitalistic inclined, would invade Earth for economic purposes as corporations, and if they are socialistic inclined, they would invade Earth for occupation, ownership by military fashion. This is totally untrue to the truth of extraterrestrials capable of interstellar space travel. Here is my information to support my opinion. First of all, the technology or the production of energy in all flying saucer-based technology, mechanic or biological work on zero-point energy production. A basic flying saucer anti-gravity engine, if taken apart, would easily make a free energy generator from its subcomponents. Economics and money is reliable on non-renewable energy. This technology exists on Earth, and your governments in the first world countries, as you say, sit on this technology so they can control you and milk your lives, working as slaves. I don't understand why they do this. Is it ego? Why do they hold so much lust to their economy and currency? It is not the natural way of the cosmos. When a planet is capable of producing zero-point energy and anti-gravity warp-like engines, either inventing or reinventing it from other inhabitants within the universe, it would normally focus on this and not hog it or hide it. The reliance on the non-renewable energy resources would decline, allowing the focus on developing technology which would take over the reliance of economy, and more on individual well-being and happiness. For example, if the hidden and suppressed technology was given to the people on this planet and not hidden in secrecy in the realms of the military-industrial complex, the energy would be free, and transport would become cheap pending borders and boundaries and countries. Thus businesses in general would sprout, the economy would rise, as a lot of the reason of recession experienced on this planet is focused on energy from fossil fuels and nuclear power. This would enable the acceleration in technology, to the point that money or even an economic system would render itself obsolete, as the technology would reach the point of replicating goods, and every individual would be capable of producing their own products from existing designs and from their own created designs, like you see in Star Trek, for example. These actually exist and are in development on your planet and are in the field of nanotechnology, but kept secret or hushed up, because one can directly copy banknotes and coins. So this planet is capable of changing the system into a paradigmatic, www.paradigm.org, society, but governments and the so-called ruling elite don't wish this to happen, which boggles my mind and makes me pain because of this. Technology is to be developed and focused on being everlasting, self-renewing, and have a symbiotic relationship for all life on the planet. Because the technology of society of this planet is backward and primitive, it is bound to be messy and hazardous to the environment, especially when most objects are designed with the concept obsolescence, in other words designed to buy and throw away, producing waste to the environment and not coexisting symbiotically with the environment, life forms, and life cycles. Extraterrestrials with economic motive perception is a joke and complete idiocy, and would make science fiction other than science fact. The only reason why extraterrestrials would intervene would be for friendship, family reunion, co-creation of life, love, prosperity, exploration, fun, enjoyment, happiness and help. They would provide contact, or even on the basis on the general average statistic of the population of people on this planet and the positive perception and love towards extraterrestrials. The extraterrestrial intervention is only available and the help is only provided on the statistical overall average of the people of this planet's perception towards extraterrestrials and the understanding of them, for the safety of the extraterrestrials due to the violent and volatile nature to the local people of this planet. This is perhaps the reason why I may not have been taken up and away, but to observe things and perhaps alert people on the production of misinformation that would isolate the humanity of this planet, and quarantine themselves from the rest of the galaxy and beyond, and perhaps destroy themselves in their own political religious dilemmas. As well as the stronghold of the industrial military complex that exists on this planet, thus creating the false flag assumption that star people /ET''S/Elohim are the terrorists. They also give a negative impression and have ideas of discrimination towards hybrid/ETs like myself and assumption for making us appear as an invasive force to dominate and have dominion over this planet, which is entirely wrong. They have no understanding of the true origins of humanity of this planet, and the patchwork of the hybrid program consists of genetic updates and improvements to alleviate the errors caused by original downgrades and cut downs to simplify the human life biology on the basis of aesthetics. Unfortunately, this has caused major social separation of genders and sexual and gender discrimination, where the male gender, which contains the downgraded chromosome, has caused decay of consciousness with its emphasis focused on war, economy, religion, racism, dogma, and the lack of functioning relationship and functioning between the rational and creative mind in human beings, as humanity were originally hermaphrodites. Allies of humanity and the new message from God, though they may appear positive and look good on the outside, is but rotten for a more sinister motive, promoting ET's xenophobia, in the very same way religions express false enlightenment. But once you know the truth and deception of world leaders, their false promises and inflicted and enforced pain of political and religious control enforced on humanity, and experienced the existence of extraterrestrials physically and in person, one has a better perception, and does not assume and make a profit imagining the existence of star people aka Elohim. Allies of Humanity expresses a political agenda is supported by the minority 1% elite, to toss in confusion, and lower the general population average positive perception, trust and openness towards extraterrestrials, where the other acts in a more religious I prefer not to state spiritual, thus providing ignorance, or trap for those who truly wish to discover what God is and what exists under the God label, thus preventing the inquisitiveness of people who think and wonder to discover the inner workings of things, the universe and everything, which prevent people to think any further than the enforced God label, which is regularly described as a male-dominating grouchy male entity, and not cosmic consciousness that comes from within. Where the truth is, there is no God. But those who believe there is one, is only confronting and seeing the censorship label, over the hidden things that they don't want you to see. Friends of humanity are here for love, peacemaking and prosperity. Allies of humanity are here for keeping borders and boundaries and separation. Allies only exist with the existence of boundaries and separation and term often associated with the industrial military complex. Countries are only allies for commercial and war purposes, and keep separation, with borders and boundaries. Industrial military complex has lasted for centuries. Earth's civilization is built on it, particularly from Rome, perhaps why the strong religious association. Industrial, commerce/economics/money, military, wars/battles/fighting/violence/money/commerce, most deception on this planet, is created not for the benefit of humanity, but for money purposes as well as political agendas. Thus people who come on the scene proclaiming they are saviors of humanity, are just doing it to make a profit, and earn a living on the ignorance of the majority, or to lure people into a particular mindset to stir up a war which would be of commercial asset on a large scale. When will this madness ever end? I have a feeling, with people awakening, humanity can no longer be asked with, but are prone to deception by dynamic revolutionary movements. Allies humanity, enforce Earth to be discreet with their interactions in space. Read by a mouthpiece on their video who does not even know what discreet means. Discreet, constituting a separate entity or part, a government with 3 discrete divisions, on 2 distinct occasions, thus supports the weaponization of space. They also promote secrecy and assumptions that exist in the current system, and the ideology spells out as a misinformation propaganda campaign that would be used to support the fake invasion false flag, where the war is not with extraterrestrials but of industrial military complex organic robots that look like extraterrestrials piloting reverse-engineered UFO technology scavenged from shot-down visitors of the past. Secrecy and assumptions that would only make an ass out of myself and yourselves. As an official ET hybrid, I find it was offensive, hurtful, and ignorant to assume that we humanet hybrids exist to take over and rule and take the planet for economic purposes. I did not ask to be here, and if your statement was true, I would be a banker, an employee of the industrial military complex, and I would have chosen to be here on this planet, but I did not, but was placed here, as an observer, an experiment. I myself struggle to survive and live in an economic-dominated society, as I do not understand economy, money, bureaucracy, policy. All I know is how to create,
extraterrestrial humanity invade local Earth humanity to exploit the planet and its resources when they are capable of creating life, loving diversity, as well able with their technology to replicate almost every object that exists in the universe with nanotech sequencers or matter replicators, which do exist your planet. Why would the creators of humanity who created life in a system development life cycle form of evolution would want to destroy it or exploit it? The hybrid program is a program of Earth humanity receiving updates and improvements to its existing genetic code, adding more diversity from more diverse star systems, in the development of human consciousness and intellectual growth. It has been going on for hundreds of years. People mistook the extraterrestrials as God or gods. When there is the intervention of extraterrestrials, Earth humanity would become part of the galactic community, and as well contribute their creativity, inspiration and ideas to new intelligent life. Not only that, also their genetic codes, and will be so-called abducting other people on developing planets, with the existing creators and contributors to life here on this planet. They would be your children, like we are their children. Everyone on this planet is an extraterrestrial hybrid, just some of us have a bit more new star genes than others. In some cases, it is said that even some of the genes of this humanity has been used in the development of intelligent life on other planets younger than the life on this planet Earth. This is all part of the cycle of life. Life just did not evolve on its own only on the basis of natural selection, without tweaking, selective selection and genetic engineering from scientists and artists from different star systems. The extraterrestrials are willing to help and dream of welcoming all the local people of Earth openly to the galactic family. So please stop the anti-extraterrestrial hate for the sake of the survival of humanity, as well for the development of intelligent life across the universe and beyond. Much love and huggles. Namaste.